Way to risk everything, not for glory, not for profit, but to defend what we love and the people we love.
They were killed in a suicide bombing at Abbey Gate at the Hamid Karzai International Airport in Kabul. That's where people looking to leave the country are being processed. General Kenneth McKenzie, commander of U.S. Central Command, said the U.S. had been working with the Taliban to evacuate Americans and allies.
At the screening, at the entry point of the base, there's a failure somewhere. It was a failure by, the Taliban operate with varying degrees of competence. Some of those guys are very scrupulously good. Some of them are not.
ISIS-K has claimed responsibility for the attacks, which killed over 100 people in total. The U.S.'s evacuations are continuing, that about 12,500 people were evacuated from Kabul in a 24-hour period. Warnings going into effect along the Gulf Coast, where a storm is gaining strength and expected to make landfall late Sunday.
It's peaceful in New Orleans this morning.
The calm before the storm, that's what I will call it.
But Ariane Nichols knows that's likely to change. As Tropical Storm Ida gathers strength, Louisiana Governor John Bell Edwards urges storm preparations now.
We don't have the 5 or 6 day window that we typically have to be prepared.
Edwards and Nichols both have their fingers crossed.
I'm hoping it doesn't hit us too hard.
But Ida could be a major hurricane before making landfall. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
And officials are worried about hospitals in the region, many of which are dealing with an ongoing surge of coronavirus cases fueled by the Delta variant. Sirhan, convicted of murdering Senator Robert Kennedy in 1968, is seeking parole today in California. There is no opposition from prosecutors. Sirhan is 77. You're listening to ABC News.
For eligible individuals 18 or older only. Not available in Oregon or West Virginia. Results vary. See website for details and important safety information.
If your hearing aids are 2 years old or older, you may be missing out on the huge advancement in hearing aid technology now available with Lively Hearing Aids. Switching to Lively Hearing Aids is like going from this to this. You'll be amazed at the difference. Our rechargeable hearing aids last up to 30 hours without a charge. Bluetooth enabled, they can stream music and calls directly through your hearing aids. And adjustable settings in the Lively app put you in control of your hearing. If you've been waiting to replace your current hearing aids because of the cost, the price of Lively hearing aids will be music to your ears. Lively hearing aids cost half the price of most hearing aids, and they're backed by a 100-day money-back guarantee. Try Lively today risk-free for 100 days and save $100 at listenlively.com/radio. That's listenlively.com/radio. listenlively.com/radio.
The Supreme Court has again struck down the Biden administration's moratorium on evictions. ABC legal analyst Royal Oakes explains.
The Supreme Court's position was straightforward. If there's going to be a moratorium on evictions, it can't be imposed by the CDC. It's got to come from Congress. The CDC has no power to say in counties with high COVID rates that tenants are protected from evictions.
The nation's highest court suspending the moratorium in an unsigned 6-3 decision. The liberal justices all dissenting. The police officer who shot and killed a woman inside the U.S. Capitol during the January 6th attack is breaking his silence.
As the rioters refused to comply with his commands during the insurrection, Lieutenant Michael Byrd tells NBC he shot Ashley Babbitt only as a last resort.
She was posing a threat to United States House of Representatives.
Babbitt's family disputes the claim that she was a threat, but multiple investigations have cleared Byrd of any wrongdoing. Capitol Police say Byrd potentially saved many lives.
Those words meant a lot because that's exactly what I did on that day.
Byrd, who is black, received a flood of death threats and racist attacks that started when his name leaked onto right-wing websites. Todd Ant, ABC News.
Peloton again cutting the price of its original exercise bike. It enjoyed booming demand during the pandemic, but is projecting slower sales ahead. This is ABC News.
The pandemic's reminded us we live in a sea of airborne germs that can assault us with every breath. Your nose is the body's first line of defense by helping filter out allergens, bacteria, and viruses before they reach your lungs. So how do you clean your nose? Navage uses powered suction to flush out mucus and germs that cause congestion or worse, can make you sick. Over 2 million people use Navage to breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier without drugs. Go to Navage.com or find Navage at Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, and Target.
Brian Clark, ABC News.
The reasons more and more people are coming to NC Tractor to do business are the selection of Massey Ferguson tractors, Bobcat zero-turn mowers, fantastic customer service, and the special Phil Sheehan seasonal discounts. NC Tractor on Railroad Avenue in Rutherford is making dreams come true for folks who want the risk.
Good morning, everyone. We made it to a Friday and starting off in the low to mid 70s this morning. This afternoon, expect plenty of sunshine. That mostly sunny sky will heat temperatures right up. Our highs today mainly in the low to mid 90s. Mostly clear sky this evening and overnight tonight. Perfect for football Friday night plans. We'll be back in the upper 60s and low 70s Saturday morning. Saturday afternoon, another mostly sunny sky with highs mainly in the mid 90s. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
And we will talk about Friday night high school football plans later on this morning with Mr. Friday Night, Jay Coombs. He'll be in at 8:05 this morning to talk about our lineup tonight, give you a little update. Our game of the week is Chase at Owen. Countdown to kickoff is 7 o'clock. Kickoff is 7:30. And join Jay Coombs 8:05 this morning for the continued saga of high school football Friday night. Now I have these death announcements. Robert Bob Sellers, 85, of Forest City, died Monday at Adrium Health, Cleveland in Shelby. Funeral arrangements are pending and will be announced by Harrelson Funeral Home. Again, that's Bob Sellers of Forest City. Francis Beatty, 87, of Sunshine, died Thursday, August 26, at Adrium Health in Shelby. Arrangements are incomplete and will be announced by Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Service for Francis Beatty. Dorothy Dot Bridges Jolly, 92, passed away Wednesday at Oak Grove Healthcare Center in Rutherford. The family will receive friends from 1:30 until 2:30 Sunday, August 29th at Cliffside Baptist Church. The funeral service will follow at 2:30 at Cliffside Baptist Church. Burial will be at Rutherford County Memorial Cemetery. Eggers Funeral Home of Cliffside is serving the family of Dorothy Dot Bridges Jolly. Jeffrey Vincent Washington, Jeff, age 60, died Tuesday, August 24th at Adrium Health, Cleveland in Shelby. A private service will be held by the family. Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family of Jeff Washington. Adam Richard Franklin Green, age 47, passed away Tuesday at Rutherford Hospital after a brief illness. Services will be private, and Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family of Adam Green. Robert Avery Hoppus, age 79, of Bostic, died Monday, August 23rd at Adrium Health, Cleveland in Shelby. A graveside service will be held privately for the family at Corinth Baptist Church Cemetery. The Pageant and King Mortuary and Crematory is in charge of the arrangements for Robert Avery Hoppus. Ronald N. Simpson, age 67, of Rutherford, died Saturday, August 21st at Adrium Health in Shelby. Ron will be buried in a private committal service in the Pleasant Grove United Methodist Church Cemetery. Family is planning a celebration of his life in the coming months and will be announced when plans are finalized. Pageant and King Mortuary and Crematory, serving the family of Ronald N. Simpson. Audrey Jean Nix Renlet, age 79, of Forest City, died Monday at Adrium Health in Shelby. Funeral services will be held Friday morning, August 27th, this morning at 11 o'clock at the Concord Baptist Church. Family will receive friends 1 hour prior to service time at the church. A service from the graveside will follow Friday afternoon at 3:30 at the Mount Zion Cemetery in Central South Carolina. The Pageant and King Mortuary is in charge of the arrangements for Audrey Jean Nix Renlet. Hugh Donald Nanny, age 93, died Tuesday, August 24th. A graveside service will be held 10 o'clock Saturday, August 28th at Round Hill Baptist Church Cemetery. Hugh will lie in state from 10 until 2 Friday at Crow's Mortuary for those wishing to pay their respects. Masks and social distancing are required for those attendants. Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family of Hugh Donald Nanny. Eveline Trout Walker, 82, of Forest City, passed away Tuesday, August 24th. Funeral services will be held 11 a.m. today at Crow's Mortuary. The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to the service. Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family of Eveline Trout Walker. Carl Pruitt Jr., age 90, of Rutherford, passed away Tuesday, August 24th at Henderson Care. The funeral service will be conducted at 2 o'clock Saturday, August 28th at the Harrelson Funeral Chapel. Burial will follow in the Rutherford County Memorial Cemetery, with military honors being accorded by the Rutherford County Honor Guard. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services entrusted with those arrangements for Carl Pruitt Jr. Sandra McBee Lowry, age 64, of Henrietta, passed away Monday at Mary Black Hospital in Spartanburg. A memorial service is planned for a later date, and Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services entrusted with those arrangements for Sandra McBee Lowry.
NRIA Real Estate Development Fund provides returns right now. They capitalize on strategic markets. They offer payouts of 10% annualized returns plus bonuses up to 21%. They are a 15-year industry leader who have seen it all. Start your due diligence at nria.net or call 800-800-1414. That's easy. 800-800-1414.
An offer of securities is only made by the NRIA Private Placement Memorandum. Read it first. Past performance does not guarantee future results. NRIA is a real estate development firm. Learn more at nria.net.
Would Jesus wear a mask? I have never been a fan of what would Jesus do type of questions, but we live in very divided times, and the powers that be are trying everything from doling out free donuts to lottery tickets to get people to comply to mask and vaccine mandates. So why not throw Jesus in the mix as well? Would Jesus get vaccinated because the CDC and Dr. Fauci told him to? Are you getting queasy yet? I am. Every time a political pulls Jesus out of someone else's Bible, they're trying to get him to conform to whatever it is they want you to do. And it usually ends up contradicting Scripture. Recently, a pastor wrote an op-ed that suggested that Jesus would mask up and therefore probably vax up as well. He would do it for others. The pastor said that Christians should be leading the way, should be setting a good example. Was Jesus a good example according to the customs of his day? Was he really concerned with making people feel comfortable? I would invite you to read from your Bibles Luke chapter 11, verses 37 through 40, to see how Jesus the Christ dealt with the health officials of his day. They were called Pharisees. It all had to do with ceremonial washing, and Jesus didn't comply. As for what we should wear, the book of Ephesians chapter 6, 13 through 15 gives us a complete list of what is required, and it doesn't include masks. When it comes to politics and culture, people should be careful with Jesus. He lives outside of everyone's box, and to that I say, amen and boom shakalaka.
This year marks 20 years since September 11, 2001, and the Tunnel to Towers Foundation has been supporting America's heroes ever since that terrible day. When a first responder or military service member does not return home, Tunnel to Towers pays off the mortgage to lift the financial burden and bring their families some stability. Donate just $11 a month to make a difference at T2T.org. That's T2T.org.
I'm James T. Harris from News Talk 550 KFYI in Phoenix, Arizona. This has been the O'Reilly Update Morning Edition.
Good morning. Good morning.
WCAB, the most music's on us.
Being a teenager is tough. There's the constant pressure to be liked.
Endless worrying about college.
Cyberbullying, high expectations, all the negativity. There's no question. Being a teenager is tough. And what do North Carolina's teens do when they want to block out the noise and clear their heads?
We play!
Yeah! Research shows that teenagers who participate in high school sports have lower stress levels, more confidence, and greater self-esteem. And then there's the biggest benefit of all. High school sports are fun.
Not just fun.
They're a lot of fun. Encourage your teenagers to participate in a sport or activity when they go to high school. They'll stress less and smile more. And they'll be laying the foundation for a happier, healthier future.
This message presented by the North Carolina High School Athletic Association and the North Carolina Athletic Directors Association.
Although John Barclay Armstrong was born in Tennessee, at the age of 21, he ended up in Austin, Texas. In Austin, he met a young lady and got married. Looking for some steady income to support his wife, Armstrong became a Texas Ranger. Working under Captain L.H. McNeely, Armstrong was so tenacious that he became known as McNeely's Bulldog. The Bulldog accompanied McNeely into Mexico and engaged in firefights with Mexican forces while bringing back outlaws. One evening in 1876, he and his men had 3 separate confrontations with outlaws. The result was 5 outlaws dead and 1 seriously wounded. After accidentally shooting himself, Armstrong decided he wanted to get into another profession that didn't involve gunplay. But Armstrong needed a grub stake, so he decided to see what outlaw John Wesley Hardin had to offer. And what he had to offer was a $4,000 reward on his head. The problem was that Armstrong was in Texas and Hardin was in Florida. So Armstrong boarded a train to Florida, even though he had no legal authority there. He found Hardin on August 23, 1877, and after some gunplay, arrested him. Battling authorities who were concerned about little things like warrants and jurisdiction, Armstrong had problems at almost every stop back to Texas. But he got his man to Texas and received his reward. Armstrong put the $4,000 to good use by purchasing a 50,000-acre ranch. And as soon as he could, Armstrong got out of the law business, living another 35 years as a rancher. You've just heard another story from Old West Radio. I'm Dakota Livesay.
Put Jesse James Railroad Express on your lunch calendar. He has a menu chocked full of fresh cooked burgers, fresh salads, hot dogs made any way you like, taco salads, specialty burgers, sandwiches, french fries, or onion rings. Enjoy refreshing milkshakes, Coke floats, or a cone of hand-dipped ice cream. Open Monday through Saturday, 11 to 4, closed Wednesday and Sunday. Jesse James Railroad Express, 531 Railroad Avenue, Rutherford. Call 828-447-4644. Mondays only. Hot dogs with mustard, chili, and onions for only $1.24 each. All aboard the Jesse James Railroad Express.
Now let's head toward the phones to get our news update from the past 24 hours. And stopping first at the Sheriff's Department. And Deputy Greenway, good morning. How you doing?
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Doing great, thanks. Tell us what's been going on in your department.
Okay, in the last 24 hours, we've responded to 161 calls for service, made 14 arrests, and there's currently 203 in the jail. Reading our arrest reports, Kenneth Scott Merck was arrested for failure to appear on misdemeanor. We had Shona Hamrick arrested for failure to appear on misdemeanor. Bruce Dale Bradley arrested failure to appear on misdemeanor. Howard Guy III also failure to appear on misdemeanor. Sarah West was arrested for simple assault. Jamie Wall was arrested for failure to appear on misdemeanor, and Samantha Bradley was arrested for larceny of motor vehicle. Reading our incident reports, Barbara Sanders reported an incident of felony larceny. Boyd Hutchins reported an incident of attempt to break and enter. And then Alicia Dobbins reported an incident of breaking and entering in violation of a court order, and that completes the morning report this morning.
Deputy Greenway, thank you very much for that report, and you have a safe weekend.
You too, thank you.
Bye-bye. 18 minutes after 7 o'clock, our game of the week tonight is Chase at Owen. 7 o'clock countdown to kickoff, 7:30 kickoff. Mr. Friday Night will be on a little after 8 o'clock this morning to talk about all the circumstances around high school football planning this year. It's 18 past 7. Imagine being surrounded by comfort. At Immaculate Heating and Air Conditioning, they offer ultimate home comfort by Coleman. They will install a Coleman high-efficiency heating and cooling system and handle any service and maintenance, all for one low monthly payment with zero out-of-pocket costs for 10 years. That's right, 10 years with no service or repair fees, no maintenance fees, no unexpected cost at all. Ultimate home comfort. It's more comfort all around. Contact Nathan Blackburn at 828-755-5788. That's 755-5788, or visit ImmaculateHeatingandAir.com. We're checking in now with Amber over at the 911 Center, 911 Communications Center. Amber, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well also.
Good. What's on your report?
In the past 24 hours, Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 Communications has processed 515 911 calls and administrative calls, which consisted of 48 calls for EMS and 24 for rescue. For law enforcement, there were 161 calls for the Sheriff's Office, 38 for Forest City, 6 for Lake Lure, 27 for Rutherfordton, and 63 for Spindale. And for fire calls, Ellenborough responded to an industrial fire alarm, Spindale responded to a structure fire with Rutherford Inn assisting. Union Mills responded to a structure fire as well with Green Hill, Rutherford Inn, and Hudlow assisting. And that's all we have.
Thanks so much for that report. I hope you have a great weekend.
You too. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide a daycare service for an aging parent or a loved one. You can always depend on Rutherford Life Services for a safe facility that offers medical monitoring, nutritional meals, fun activities, and is a loving environment. Rutherford Life is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. They will be glad to answer any questions you may have. Call them at 288-1697. Rutherford Life Services offers a trained staff of professionals who you can entrust your loved one to. Rutherford Life Services is located at 230 Fairground Road in Spindale.
And it's time to talk with Ruby Taylor. She's over the Danieltown SDO Fire District with our report today. Ruby, good Friday morning to you.
Same to you.
Thank you. What's on the report?
Well, the fire department was quiet. On my birthday calendar today, I've got Lisa Dickerson and Ronnie Huntley having birthday today, and hope they have a nice day. Sunday, tomorrow, Beth Stamey having a birthday tomorrow, and I hope she has a nice day. Then Sunday, Debbie McDaniel, and I hope she has a nice day. And the Sandra in the neck today, tomorrow, and going to the Arms on Sunday. Jim, that's all I got.
Thanks, Ruby. Enjoy your weekend.
You too.
Bye.
Thinking about the departure of a loved one through death is a subject we don't like to talk about. However, pre-planning or prepaying for a funeral is a consideration and responsible thing to do. With so many options available today, it's important to speak with someone you can trust and someone who can help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved ones. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory is recognized as one of the best family-run funeral homes. It's a family tradition, and they know how to care for your family. Any questions you might have, they will be happy to answer. Call Crow's Mortuary and Cremation Services at 286-2304.
Here's Gary Wilson now. He's up in the Fairfield Mountains community and overlooking things and also reporting from Bills Creek area. Gary Wilson, top of the morning to you, sir.
Top of the morning to you, sir. How you doing?
Doing great. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Beautiful day in the neighborhood. Want to remember our troops over in Afghanistan. That's what happened yesterday.
Oh, boy, isn't that sad?
And it's still chance of it happening before they get out of there yet. So
I know.
Keep them in our prayers, and hopefully they all get out of there safely in the next few days.
That's a good point, Gary. Thank you for reminding us of that, and I hope folks will indeed take that to heart and have a special time this weekend, wherever you are, any time during the day, have a special prayer that things develop over there safely.
I think that'd be a good idea, and they're asking all flags be lowered to half staff through the 30th, I believe it is, so everybody make sure you do that today.
Okay.
Keep them in your thoughts and prayers. It's a dangerous world out there, and we're lucky to live in the country we live in.
We really are, although as ugly as it looks right now, it's great to be an American.
It could. It's dangerous times, so we have to be on our toes, and thank goodness we got a good military to keep us safe.
Yes.
And up here this morning, we're sitting on about 70 degrees. It's been stuck on that for about 2 weeks, I think, every morning. It'll be 69, 70, or 71. So. But no rain the last few days, and maybe a chance of some showers today. And not quite as hot as it's been, but it's still warm enough. And we had quiet 24 hours on fire calls, us from Bills Creek, so getting ready for another day, and hopefully a good weekend for everybody. And that's about all we got up here, Jim.
Well, I hope the weekend is quiet. I hope everybody gets to rest up for the weekend and not have to go out on any fires or rakes or medicine calls or anything like that. Be nice, wouldn't it?
It would. It sure would.
Have a good one, Gary. Thanks.
All right, you too.
Bye. And that's Gary Wilson. He reports from the Fairfield Mountains Fire District and also Bills Creek Fire District. It's 7:24.
You say hello every time you pick up your phone, but what else do you say hello to? With Bark Mobile, you can say hello to summer, to adventure, to doing what you love, because you're also saying hello to freedom, flexibility, and great deals. Like getting a free Moto G stylus when you switch for a limited time, $100 savings when you bring the device you already love, or 2 lines unlimited data for just $35 a month per line with AutoPay. Say hello to something new. It's just a phone call away with Bark Mobile. Bark Mobile, mobile made easy. Certain restrictions apply. See store for details or visit mybarkmobile.com/terms and conditions.
Chase is at Owen tonight, and that'll be our broadcast game of the week. Chase is 1-0. Owen is nothing and nothing so far they have played. Thomas Jefferson at Pine Lake Prep. West Caldwell at RS Central. Salisbury at Polk County has been canceled. COVID at both places, both Salisbury and Polk County. No game for them tonight. And McDowell at Mitchell canceled because of COVID. So Crest at Burns tonight. Shelby at Asheville, AC Reynolds. And there's been other schools canceled along the way, along the list I see. Folks canceled because of COVID. Wilkes Central, South Caldwell at Hickory canceled. Charlotte Latin at Hickory canceled. Gastonia, Hunter Huss, and Lenore High Broughton canceled. A lot of other schools canceled it a little further away from us. And the Rutherford County School Board assembled last night in a call session, or yesterday evening late, and decided to change their vote on making mask optional. They voted last night to make mask wearing mandatory for the school system. They would call a special call meeting. I don't know what prompted that, but they did. They had a call meeting, and they voted to make mask wearing mandatory in the school system starting, I think, maybe September the 1st. I'm not sure the exact start date. Maybe Monday. I don't know. But it'll be until further notice. So there you go. Now here's Bob Hodge. He's over in the Hudlow Fire District this morning, where we hope things have been nice and quiet. But I don't know about that, Bob. How you doing?
We're doing just fine on this here Friday morning.
I like Fridays, don't you?
That's right. End of the week there. But we got another good shower of rain yesterday afternoon up here, so for about 10 or 15 minutes. But look like it's pretty out here this morning, though. That sun's come up. It's going to be another hot day. But won't be long, though, it'll be cooling off. It's getting toward the end of August here.
Yeah, when's the first day of fall? When does that happen?
September the 21st or 20th or somewhere along there.
Somewhere along in there, yeah. It's not many weeks away.
Yes, it is there. And
we'll start seeing the leaves turn colors and start falling, and before you know it, it'll be pumpkin time.
That's right. There, it'll be time to eat the pumpkin, won't it? Oh, but we'll have to get through Halloween first there. So.
That's right.
But that's no national holiday, you know. That is a fun,
well, yeah. It's become just about as popular as Thanksgiving anymore.
Well, when's Labor Day weekend? Is that this week? Next weekend?
Not this weekend, but next weekend. Labor Day's Monday, the 6th of September.
Okay. I knew it first comes in the middle of the week this time, so which weekend was Labor Day? But it'd be next weekend.
That's right.
Well, Jim, up here with the fire department, we've answered one medical call, and then we assisted Union Mills on a structure fire off of Oak Springs Road. And birthdays for Saturday, Barbara Freeman. And then for Sunday, Eric Gold. And, Jim, that's about it up here, and I hope everybody has a good weekend.
Bob, you too. You and Amazine have a good one, and do something nice for yourself, and I'll see you next time.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
To win in sports, you must adjust your strategy as the game changes. The same is true of investments. Why not let Andrew Tisdale, your Edward Jones financial advisor, help you create a game plan for financial success? Call 828-287-9197 and get started today. That's Andrew Tisdale at Edward Jones Financial Advisor, 828-287-9197.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
And let's say good morning to Sue Price over in the Cherry Mountain Fire District this morning. Sue, how are you doing?
Good morning, Tim. I'm doing good. Hope you are.
You up and at 'em already, are you?
I'm up and at 'em.
Good.
At least I'm up.
Yeah, there you go. You got time yet to get at them. You got a little time yet.
Yeah. Looks like we're going to have another good day, hot day.
Yes.
Well, let's see. I have one birthday on my church calendar for Jason Mutton. I'm pronouncing his name right. And on my personal calendar, I've got Ann Self and Debbie Stackleather. So I hope those folks all will have a good day, and I hope anybody that's having a birthday or anniversary will have a real good day on their special day. And in my announcements, the Piney Mountain Boys will be singing at Duncan's Creek Church Sunday during the worship service. And I don't have any other announcements. Haven't had anything come in, so it's kind of quiet over this way. Not a whole lot going on, but we hope everybody will have a good day, and hope you'll have a good day and a good weekend, Jim.
Thanks, Sue. You too, and I will see you next time.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Back on July 28th, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office Criminal Apprehension Team, the CAT, was made aware of warrants issued for Mr. Andrew Franklin Hodge for murder. The Criminal Apprehension Team, along with the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation, began a long investigation into the whereabouts of Mr. Hodge. After numerous tips, interviews, and casework, the Rutherford County Criminal Apprehension Team contacted Gainesville Police Department and the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, who quickly took Mr. Hodge into custody on August 13th. On August 25th, and after an extensive investigation, Mr. Roger Gene Cook was arrested by Gainesville Police Department and the Florida Department of Law Enforcement for outstanding warrants for parole violation and conspiracy to traffic methamphetamine. The Criminal Apprehension Team was assigned to locate Mr. Cook on July 6th, and since that date, CAT and the NCSBI have worked closely together to help locate Mr. Cook. Both individuals are currently in the custody of law enforcement officials in Florida and will be extradited back to Rutherford County. The Rutherford County Criminal Apprehension Team is vital to the day-to-day operation of the Sheriff's Office with their never-ending pursuit to bring wanted fugitives to justice. If you have information on the whereabouts of any wanted person with outstanding warrants, you may anonymously contact Crime Stoppers at 828-286-TIPS and help get those bad guys and gals off the street. We don't need them walking around on the streets anymore. All right, we're heading up toward Shingle Hollow. I believe that's where we're going next. Is that where we're going, Tina? Is that right?
Good morning. Yes, it is. Shingle Hollow.
You welcome us with open arms today?
Come on up.
All right.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you doing? You improving?
I'm feeling fine.
Good.
Fine as frog hair split 4 ways.
I hadn't heard that expression in a while.
Oh, it's a great day up here in Shingle Hollow. It's 69 degrees on the porch. Birthday calendar, I have Mr. Dale Brown on Piney Knobs. Nobody on Pleasant Grove. On my personal calendar, my aunt Sheila McCurry is having a birthday, so I wish her and Dale great birthdays. Green Hill Fire Department had a call. They assisted Union Mills in a structure fire, and Shingle Hollow was all quiet yesterday, the past 24 hours. There was some big thunder around us yesterday, but we didn't get rain here.
We got just a few drops here, not a lot of rain, but just enough to make you want to go roll your windows up in your car.
We didn't get any, not even a drop, but there was thunder all around us. It's odd how that works.
It is.
So we're going to have a great Friday, aren't we?
We are. I'm planning on having one. Hope you are.
I am too, yes.
Well, the whole weekend, I'm planning on having a great weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing special, but I'm just going to plan to have one.
Make it special anyway.
That's right. That's right. Anything else going on?
Okay, that's all I know of.
Well, you keep improving. You stay happy, and I'll see you next time.
Okay, everybody stay safe. Bye-bye.
That's Tina White reporting out of Shingle Hollow this morning at 7:34. On Wednesday, August 25th, the newly established task force consisting of the Forest City Police Department and the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office Narcotics Unit, along with the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office Criminal Apprehension Team, assisted North Carolina Probation with the search at 125 Lark Lane in Forest City. Upon completion of the search, greater than 3 pounds of methamphetamine, $14,197 in U.S. currency, marijuana, Other pills of all kinds were also seized. As a result of the seizure, Michael Irvin Hughes and Ricky Thomas Jackson were arrested. Hughes was charged with level 3 trafficking in meth, 2 counts of PWISD, Schedule 2, and other scheduled forms of drugs, and maintaining a vehicle or dwelling, possession of marijuana and other types of drugs, and all they were just loaded with it. And Jackson was charged with trafficking in methamphetamine, and so they have made those announcements this morning. And now we're heading up toward the Union Mills to get a report from Top of the Hill with Brenda Kelly. Good morning.
Good morning from Top of the Hill. How are you on this fabulous Friday morning?
I feel great. I
hear it. Hope everybody's having a good day. Tina was talking about not getting no rain. Well, I think we've got rain every day this week.
You're getting everybody else's share of rain, I believe.
Yeah, I paid my preacher good.
I'll give him a call after a while and see if that's true.
Okay, you just go right ahead. He don't know. He wasn't there Sunday.
Was he not?
No, he's sick. Him and his wife both.
That's too bad.
Oh, he had a little accident maybe 3 weeks ago now, because he was out one Sunday, then he was there Sunday, and then he wasn't there this Sunday, so that goes back 3 weeks. He was moving his motorcycle, and it was in a rut, and he gunned it to get it out of the rut, and it fell, and he went one way, and it went the other way, and he broke some ribs.
Oh, my goodness.
So
I know he's sore then.
He's having a time of it, but we wish him well.
You've been doing the preaching since he's been out?
No, we've got the youth pastor. Brother Doug Barnes, he was doing the preaching. Okay. One Sunday, and I forget, we had a Gideon preacher there one Sunday, and I forgot who took his place. I can't remember.
Well, when's Brenda Kelly Sunday?
No, Brenda can't preach. I can tell you a lot about the Bible, but the preaching, no. Well, I don't know. There's a few subjects I could preach to you about.
I bet you could.
But we'll not go there. Well, let's see. I've got 66 degrees on the front porch. I don't have but one birthday today, and that's Dawn Cherie Evans. And that, if I'm not mistaken, that's our preacher's sister, and she wants me to sing happy birthday to her. So here goes. I can't sing, but I can make a joyful noise.
Go ahead. Go for it.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. May the Lord richly bless you. Happy birthday to you. That's it.
There'll be talent scouts calling you all day today, wanting you to be on America's Got Talent.
Saying, shut your mouth and don't open it no more.
Well, that's nice of you to do that for her.
Yeah, she wanted me to do that. She's had got in touch with my daughter, and my daughter told me that. Then ways of announcements, we got a country breakfast buffet Saturday, August the 28th, 7 to 10 a.m., White House Community Center. This is at 5408 Painters Gap Road, Union Mills, NC, 28167. Adults, $6. Children, 6 to 12, $3. Children 5 and under, free. They got all kind of good food, and all proceeds go for the upkeep of the building. For bookings, call Maria Deckard at 828-625-9240. And then on September the 3rd, Possum Creek is going to be at the Union Mills Learning Center. The music starts at 7, and they have a meal beginning at 6 p.m., and the cost of the meal is $5. And so far, that's all the announcements I've got. Who's that young man from Rutherford County that I think his last name's Roberson or Robertson? Is it Avery?
Yes.
He's going to be over at the Evacuation Center tonight with Lambert. What's her name? Her last name's Lambert.
Miranda Lambert?
Yeah, he's going to be there with her.
Oh, that's big time, yeah.
Yeah. My daughter's going to go see that. That's how I knew about it.
Well, he's a real good talent. He is. He's going to move up in the world.
Yeah, he sang one time at a benefit we had at our church before COVID hit a couple of years ago, and he done a fine job.
Well, the national exposure that he got from The Voice is going to really help him a lot. He certainly did a great job there. He should have won that, but...
Yeah, but that's all right. It got him started. He got his foot in the door, didn't he?
That's exactly right. You got to start somewhere.
That's
Just like you
right.
started your musical career right here on this program.
Singing happy birthday. Oh, my goodness. Anybody heard that knows that woman can't sing. But anyway, like I say, I got to make a joyful noise.
Absolutely. You got a
I
song
thought
in
the
your
Lord
heart. That's
requires of us. But I don't know of anything else going on. I guess you better go check on Luther Sweet Thing Gilligan.
I'll see you next time.
Okay, have a good one. Catch
Bye-bye.
you later.
Your car's best friend can be RS Speedy Lube Service Center. That's because RS Speedy Lube Service Center and Car Wash can keep your car or truck running clean with a regular oil change. They check the fluids and vacuum out the car and have you on your way in no time. Go next door for a radiator or transmission flush. Brakes, exhaust, CV joints, and service for big trucks and campers also available. Pull next door to the RS Speedy Automatic Car Wash and make your car happy with a clean, all under and all over car wash. It's all at RS Service Center and Car Wash on Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton.
Hey folks, you know, Farmer's Friend Feed Seed Supply is an amazing store. I can say that because they have what you need. From pet supplies to fire and ant killer to horse quality Timothy alfalfa hay, $14 per bale. Attention carp fishermen, they have C&J flavoring, only $8 per bottle. And they have oats for sale. Refill your propane tanks at the lowest price. Fully stocked with all your deer supplies and a great selection of farm implements. Need mulch? $12 per scoop. We could call it a superstore. Farmer's Friend Feed Seed Supply, 188 Whiteside Road in Rutherfordton.
It's 7:41. That's Ellenboro time. Does anybody really know what time it is, Luther?
Time makes no difference when you're having fun.
Time just goes right along. You don't even know it when you're having fun.
That's right. When you're having fun, don't worry about the time. And we're having fun this morning.
Yes, sir.
Drinking coffee, eating biscuits, and having a good time. But let's see, the fire department had one call. Yeah, had an industrial fire alarm yesterday, and they've just gone out this morning on another call. I don't know what it was yet. They took, I believe it was an accident down the road. So everybody be careful heading west on 74 business. You might run into it. You don't know where it's at. But other than that, things are going good there. Nothing else is happening. No excitement this morning other than the fire truck. So you have a great day up there, and we'll tell you about it tomorrow.
All right, Luther, thank you very much. Enjoy your weekend.
All right, take care now.
Bye. And Luther leaves us time for a birthday party here on this 27th day of August. This is the last Friday of this month. And if you're celebrating today, we'd love to hear from you. That phone number is 287-3356, 287-3356, and let's celebrate. Give you a big shout-out on your birthday or anniversary. Todd's standing by to take that call. Nobody gets a better deal than the customers at Sisk Family Ford. They have a proven record of the best deals. Sisk Family Ford, Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealer, has recently been recognized as the #1 Ford dealer in customer satisfaction in the Southeast. That speaks well of their commitment to serve their customers well. Look for all the new design 2021 F-150 at Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealership. That's Sisk Family Ford, Oak Street, Forest City.
Cheryl, have you been to the Homeworks Design Center inside Henson Building Materials in Forest City?
Oh, yes. Shana, David, and William are incredible at designing kitchen and bath cabinetry for my new she shed.
Your what?
And they have a full line of windows and doors on display in their 5,000 square foot showroom. And they'll install any ones you pick out for me.
Oh, you're too good to me.
I know. With selling and installing, it's basically one-stop shopping.
Henson Building Materials, 177 Duke Street, Forest City.
Building starts here.
Let me brag on Hutchins Pest Control a minute. Don't let the pest bug you when Hutchins Pest Control is as close as a phone call. Honest, dependable, professional, and on-time service may be the reason they keep getting voted best pest control. If you have a pest problem, call this family-run business at 287-5171. Licensed in North and South Carolina and fully insured and bonded. Get a free estimate when you call Hutchins Pest Control and be sure the job is done right. That's Hutchins Pest Control. Call them today at 287-5171 and they'll be right there. Well, Friday night is pizza night in many homes. And if you're looking for a good pizza, you need to call Granny B's. Let me give you that phone number. Write it down or put it in your phone. Make it easy for you. It's 286-9012. That's 286-9012. And you'll never go back to the others once you've had a Granny B's combo pizza. Choose from 13 different combinations. So what's your favorite? Choose it at Granny B's Pizza. Granny B's Pizza. Sure. It'll be all right to save a little room for some of those daylight donuts. But if Friday night is pizza night in your home, make it a Granny B's Pizza.
Happy birthday.
We have a couple of birthdays to celebrate. Jarvis Watkins is 32 today, and Mary Gilbert is also having a birthday. So we want to wish these folks a happy, happy birthday and many more happy returns. Now stand by after this musical bed, and we'll have Keys to Confident Living. In 8:05 this morning is Mr. Friday Night, Jay Coombs.
Are you bothered by feelings of prejudice? I'm not necessarily talking about an issue of race or color, though that may be a part of it. There are many other ways we can exhibit wrong attitudes that are not based on truth or reality, but we hold these attitudes just the same. Michael Hodgins, in his book 1001 Humorous Illustrations for Public Speaking, tells the following story of the tour bus driver in Nashville, Tennessee. The driver was pointing out the sites of the Civil War Battle of Nashville. He said, "Right over here, a group of Confederate soldiers held off a whole Yankee brigade. A little farther along," he said, "over there, a young Confederate boy all by himself held off a Yankee platoon." This went on and on until finally a member of the tour group asked, "Didn't the Yankees win anything in the Battle of Nashville?" The bus driver replied, "Not while I'm the driver of this bus, they didn't." The bus driver was prejudiced against a specific group of people, and it didn't make any difference to him whether the facts supported his position or not. He was determined to maintain his attitude regardless. Overcoming prejudice is often a very difficult thing to do because usually we grow up with it. We hear things from our parents, school chums, and community citizens that develop our attitude and outlook toward others. Prejudice can be developed in us through ethnic jokes, slurs of various types, stereotyping, and competing value systems. To be totally free of any prejudice is almost impossible, but it certainly is a worthwhile goal. This is Bill Hostler with today's Key to Confident Living.
From ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. President Biden vowed to avenge the lives of the 13 U.S. military members killed in Thursday's suicide bombing in Afghanistan. More than 100 people were killed in total. ISIS-K has claimed responsibility.
We have some reason to believe we know who they are, not certain, and we will find ways of our choosing without large military operations to get them.
The blast came at a screening point at Hamid Karzai International Airport where people trying to leave the country are checked by U.S. troops. General Kenneth McKenzie is commander of U.S. Central Command.
But I think our mission remains. We're still committed to flowing people out up until we terminate operations at some point, towards the end of the month.
And the evacuation flights out of the airport are continuing, but with significant risks, says ABC's Ian Pannell. He's in Qatar.
President Biden promising the mission to get Americans and Afghans out will be completed, with the August 31st deadline now just 4 days away. But some will be left behind. 5,000 U.S. citizens have been evacuated from the country, but the State Department says up to 1,000 still remain. 2/3 of them are taking steps to leave.
All 50 states now have high levels of COVID-19 community spread. That is the level where the CDC recommends everyone wear a mask indoors regardless of vaccination status. In Kentucky, it was a 5th consecutive day of record hospitalizations. Governor Andy Beshear said,
"Seeing nearly 5,000 cases and 65 Kentuckians that we lost in just one day's report is tough."
The strain on hospitals prompting fears about the possibility of a major storm slamming into the Gulf Coast. Ida gaining strength as a tropical storm. It could reach hurricane strength by the time it makes landfall late Sunday in Louisiana. You're listening to ABC News.
The pandemic's reminded us we live in a sea of airborne germs that can assault us with every breath. Your nose is the body's first line of defense by helping filter out allergens, bacteria, and viruses before they reach your lungs. But like any air filter, the more clogged up it gets, the less it works. So how do you clean your nose? I'm Martin Hoke, and I didn't invent nasal irrigation. The neti pot's been around thousands of years. But I did invent Navage to make cleaning your nose easy. Navage uses powered suction to flush out mucus and germs that cause congestion, or worse, can make you sick. Over 2 million people use Navage to breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier without drugs. Navage has over 70,000 online reviews averaging 4.7 stars because it works and it's easy to use. Go to Navage.com or find Navage at Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, and Target. Now available with eucalyptus for a spa-like experience. Navage. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Some U.S. allies are concluding their evacuation missions in Afghanistan. Britain is leaving the final evacuees from Kabul into the U.K. today.
Britain's no longer processing individuals outside the gates. Instead, it's focusing on those already on the tarmac. Defense Secretary Ben Wallace says that involves
1,000 people approximately inside the airfield now, and we will seek a way to continue to find a few people in the crowds where we can, but overall the main processing has now closed and we have a matter of hours.
Although the UK's been bringing out around 1,000 a day, Wallace says it's with deep regret that not everyone's been able to get out. Tom Rivers, ABC News, London.
There's a new way to pay for apps on your phone. If it's an iPhone, ABC's Sherry Preston says it means less money for the company, more for app developers.
When you download an app on your iPhone, you'll soon be offered a new way to pay. Instead of going straight through your phone, the creator of the app could instead tell you how to pay them directly, rather than through Apple. It's a part of a settlement reached in a class action lawsuit filed by app developers who had complained the company was breaching antitrust laws by only letting people pay through Apple. The company also cut the commission it takes from smaller developers, 15% instead of 30%.
South Lake Tahoe, California, preparing for an emergency as the Caldor wildfire threatens the area. This is ABC News.
Nielsen says more than 30 million Americans watch Newsmax. It's the 4th highest-rated cable news channel, and it's available on all major cable systems, or find it on smart TVs like Samsung, LG, and more. And it's free on Roku, Xumo, Pluto, Amazon Fire, and TiVo. Or download the Newsmax app on your smartphone. Watch it anytime, anywhere. Forbes calls Newsmax a news powerhouse. Millions of Americans are watching Newsmax. You should too. Tune in today.
Brian Clark, ABC News.
Hello, everyone. We made it to a Friday, and for today, we'll see a mostly sunny sky. That abundant sunshine will keep temperatures on the hotter side again today. Highs mainly in the low to mid-90s. Mostly clear sky this evening and overnight tonight. Perfect for football Friday night plans. We'll be in the upper 60s and low 70s Saturday morning. Saturday afternoon, expecting another mostly sunny sky, but highs hotter and mainly in the mid-90s. Also in the mid-90s on Sunday. I'm meteorologist Zach Moloch in the Weather Center.
It's our 30th anniversary, but you get the gifts. That's right, Carolina West Wireless is celebrating our anniversary and celebrating you in a big way with incredible savings, like $350 off a new iPhone 12 or a $150 credit when you bring in your own device. And as our special gift to you, get an additional $30 off any other device promo in our store. Stop by today and let's celebrate our 30th anniversary together. Carolina West Wireless, celebrating 30, celebrating you. Certain restrictions apply. See store for details or visit carolinawest.com/terms and conditions.
It's 8:05 Friday morning. We'll be talking to Mr. Friday Night here in just a few moments. And following that, we're going to take a brief interview call with Chairman of the School Board, Rutherford County School Board. They met last night in special session and decided to change their vote a little bit. So we'll talk with Phillip Morrow in just a few moments about all of that, how that transpired in just a moment. Right now, though, we want to go to the phones and talk with Mr. Friday Night, Jay Coombs.
Where is the best place in town to get food and supplies for your pets? Well, that would be Rutherford Pet Supply, located at 115 Reservation Drive in Spindale. Get quality, top-brand merchandise at guaranteed lowest prices. If they aren't the lowest, they'll match it and give you 10% of the difference. They offer a super convenient drive-thru service. You can order online at rutherfordpet.com and pick it up in the drive-thru. Or you can tell the staff what you want, they get it for you. You don't even have to break a sweat. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. through 6 p.m., closed on Sunday. Call them at 828-248-2336 or find them at rutherfordpet.com. Rutherford Pet Supply, caring for all the members of your family.
Thank you, Greer. Local news from here and there this morning. A local man wanted for the shooting of a South Carolina man outside an apartment has been arrested. At the request of Forest City Police, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office Criminal Apprehension Team launched an investigation in trying to find Jacques Marcel Edwards, 32. On Wednesday, the Criminal Apprehension Team and the Sheriff's Narcotics Unit took Edwards into custody without incident from Vance Price Road, Forest City, according to the Sheriff's Office. Edwards is charged with assault with a deadly weapon with the intent to kill, inflicting serious injury, 8 counts of assault with a deadly weapon with the intent to kill, and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. He was jailed under a $500,500 secure bond. Police say Edwards shot Don Curtis, 39, of Spartanburg, South Carolina. The shooting occurred Saturday night, August 21st, outside an apartment at 383 Wells Drive. An argument between those at 2 separate apartments escalated into the shooting. Curtis was struck multiple times. He was taken to Spartanburg Medical Center and later released. Edwards fled the scene before police arrived. Now he is apprehended. As I said before, one time before, whatever happened to the old put up your fist and let's fight it out without having to pull the guns and the knives. The hunt for a man wanted in Rutherford and Sling led investigators to Florida, and where another suspect was hiding. Efforts to locate Andrew Franklin Hodge, 33, of Union Mills, on charges he killed Thomas LaBelle, 33, on July 27th, led authorities to another man suspected of dealing drugs in Rutherford County. Once the search for Hodge took the probe into Florida, investigators believed Hodge knew Roger Gene Cook. So when Rutherford County Sheriff's Office and the State Bureau of Investigation reached out to Florida authorities for help, they told them Hodge and Cook might be together. Cook was wanted here on drug-related charges, according to Sheriff's Captain Jamie Keever. On July 28th, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office Criminal Apprehension Team was made aware of the warrants issued for Hodge, and the Criminal Apprehension Team and SBI began investigating the whereabouts of Hodge. After numerous tips, interviews, and casework, CAT contacted the Gainesville Police Department and the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, who took Hodge into custody on August 13th. So they're apprehending some folks that need to be arrested. We're expecting a call any time from Jay Coombs to report on Friday night football. We're due to have that on any time. And then we're going to be talking with Phillip Morrow, the the chairman of the board of Rutherford County Schools to talk about their call meeting last night and what they decided. Meanwhile, other news, Daily Courier is reporting that the hospital is curbing visitation due to COVID spike. Due to the rising number of COVID-19 cases and the increased rate of transmission to Rutherford County, Rutherford Regional Health System re-implemented a zero-visitor policy as of Tuesday, August 25th. As before, some exceptions do apply, including labor and delivery and end-of-life care. Until further notice, no visitor will be allowed except for the following limited exceptions: pediatrics, labor, and delivery, one well visitor that has been screened per patient. When possible, the designated visitor should remain the same for the course of admission, meaning if one comes in, you got to stay, no coming and going. End-of-life care, well visitor provision at the discretion of our care teams. Additional exceptions may be made on a case-by-case basis. Patients at Rutherford Regional Health System for outpatient surgery or the outpatient clinic will be able to have one well visitor accompanying them through check-in. Then that visitor will be asked to wait in their vehicle until the patient is ready. This exception will allow the visitor to be screened alongside the patient prior to entering the clinic and accompany the patient to facilitate care for a procedure, treatment, or same-day surgery. There are other precautions and other stipulations and differences here, so if you want to check that out, you can contact 828-286-5000 or visit them online at myrutherfordregional.com, or you can also check out the story in the day's edition of the Daily Courier, and they have more specifics on that. Local leaders have expressed doubts about the accuracy of the recently released Census 2020 data, which shows that Rutherford County and most towns within the county shrank in population over the last 10 years. State officials have now given clarity on the process and place to challenge the official census results. Bob Coates, the governor's census liaison, and the North Carolina Office of State Budget and Management said, yes, the census count can be challenged. Local governments must document their challenge and make their case. Rutherford County Manager Steve Garrison said Thursday that county officials are considering the possibilities and examining potential costs versus benefits of a census challenge. That's a forthcoming story we'll be reporting on as they get to it. I'll be back in just a moment with more.
This is Dwayne Hunt with Insurance Service Associates, wanting to let you know that we have moved. Our new office is located at 245 East Main Street in Forest City. Come see us for auto, home, or your commercial insurance needs. Also come see me, Dwayne Hunt, for your Medicare supplements, Medicare Advantage, or prescription drug plans. See us at Insurance Service Associates, now located at 245 East Main Street in Forest City, or call 828-245-5301.
13 minutes after 8 o'clock, and we'll have, we're waiting on a call from Jay Coombs. Don't know, that's unusual for him not to be on go for Friday morning. But we're going to go to the phone right now and talk with Phillip Morrow, the chairman of the Rutherford County School Board. He's on the phone. Phillip, thanks for joining us this morning at short notice.
Sure. Good morning, Jim. You doing okay?
Appreciate you being with us today.
Sure.
Doing great. I know you folks had a call meeting yesterday for an important subject. Tell us what that was all about.
Yes, sir. So Jim, you know, we had been watching the quarantine numbers after our August 3rd board meeting. We had a change in the quarantine process by our local health director, which she's following the Strong Schools North Carolina Public Health Toolkit. Basically, unless a kid is mask on mask, if a kid was to test positive with the COVID virus, then it pretty much quarantines the whole classroom, given if those kids were exposed. So we were just watching the numbers here the first week of all the schools being back in session, not just Far City, Dunbar, and Reach. And Jim, the numbers were just growing at an alarming rate. As of the board meeting last night, we were well over 700 quarantined students. And talking with Dr. Sutton, we were just a few short weeks from shutting down the school system. So we just revisited the mask policy to do what we want to do. One of our number one priorities is to make sure that we keep kids in the classroom learning. And the parents told us loud and clear last year that they did not want their kids in a remote setting. For the majority, they wanted their kids in the classroom to learn. And so that's what we met for last night. And fortunately, we were able to make that happen with a unanimous vote.
So you actually the best decision of all the three. So you chose the best one, which is go mask or go home and do it remotely or shut it down. So I guess going mask mandatory is best of three. Yes,
Jim. Unfortunately, that was the only decision we can make to keep our kids in the classroom. We had no other option other than to keep mask optional. And again, the school system shuts down in a couple of weeks, and then guess what? The kids aren't in school.
Yeah. Well, how long is the mandate in place for? Is there a shut-off date or?
Well, so that is a great question, Jim. And as Mr. Ficklin framed up the motion last night, we actually put into the motion that the masks are mandatory until we can get out of the high transmission color, which is the red on the positivity map. If we get back down into the orange, the yellow, or even fortunately the blue, then we're going to revisit this mask requirement to see if we can make it mask optional again. And that means that the transmission rate in the county has dropped. So hopefully we got some community buy-in last night, and everybody's going to do their part to make sure we can get these masks off of our kids.
I'm not asking you to name any of the schools, but is every school in the county affected by this right now, or is there just a few?
It is.
Every
no,
school?
Every kid or every school in the system, Jim, is affected by this quarantine.
Yeah. Well, that's too bad that it's gotten to this point. I was sure hoping that it would open up again and we could have a full year ahead for the student to enjoy school as they do without having to wear those masks. Because some folks are they just can't handle a mask.
That's exactly right. And every board member on the board wants the mask off the kids.
Yeah. Are there exceptions to those folks who maybe have a health problem that can't?
Sure. Yeah, if there is medical exceptions, Jim.
Yeah. Okay. So it met last night. Did you have a lot of local participation from the community? Were they there in numbers last night?
We did. We probably had 50, 60 people there.
Yeah. Good. Most of them in favor of going to the mask.
Yes, we actually had several members who spoke out to make the mask optional once they realized that we were in jeopardy of closing down the school system. Hey, as long as my kid don't have to go back remote, I will put a mask on them for that short period of time, hopefully until we can drive this transmission rate down.
Mr. Chairman, I know it's a tough call to be in positions like that in leadership of something when it's that strong in our county with the COVID rate. I know it's tough to make calls like that, and you have to make tough decisions. Unlike some folks don't like it, you're either doomed if you do and doomed if you don't. So it's hard to make those calls. But you folks are in the firing line like that. I admire and appreciate you having to make those calls.
Well, thank you, Jim. I appreciate you.
Thanks for letting us know what really transpired, and we'll talk to you again real soon.
Talk to you soon, Jim.
Thanks, Phillip. That's Phillip Morrow. He's the chairman of the school board. As I mentioned earlier in the outset, they met last night in a call meeting, a last-minute call meeting, to make that decision based on the numbers in the county. Now, this doesn't mean that we're supposed to panic ourselves and go hide under a bed. We're supposed to continue living our lives, although if you have someone in school, you're working in school or visiting school, you're going to have to wear the mask because it's going to be mandatory. And we suspect that's going to become more mandatory in other facets of our lives for the next little while. But just do what you have to do, and let's get through this. I don't like them either. I don't like masks, and I don't like anything that's going to slow down my lifestyle. But if it's going to help save a life, then I'm willing to jump in and be a part of that. So let's don't roll under a bed and say, oh, I'm doomed, life is over. No, life is not over. It's just one of these things we have to roll through, and there is a bright side on the other side of that mountain, so let's hang in there. Mr. Friday Night's due to be with us. Don't know what's happened with that report this morning. Jay, we talked yesterday evening, and he was going to be with us. But we do know, unless things have changed, that we have a Chase at Owen game tonight. And that's 7 o'clock countdown to kickoff, 7:30 kickoff. A lot of other schools have been canceled because of COVID. Here are other schools in our region. Thomas Jefferson at Pine Lake will be playing tonight. West Caldwell at RS Central. Salisbury at Polk County has been canceled due to COVID. McDowell at Mitchell canceled due to COVID. Crest at Burns will be playing tonight. Shelby at Asheville, A.C. Reynolds. And I'm looking down the list of all the schools in the conferences, and there's several cancellations due to COVID. Asheville, T.C. Robertson, and Gastonia, Ashbrook. COVID canceled at Avery and Wilkes County. South Caldwell at Hickory canceled due to COVID. Charlotte Latin at Hickory, a replacement game. Gastonia Hunter Huss at Lenore Highbrighton canceled because of COVID. North Wilkes at Ashe County canceled because of COVID. And that's some of the effect that this crazy thing is having on us across our district and across North Carolina. It's 21 minutes after 8 o'clock. We'll have that sheriff's report coming up here in just a moment.
At Smith Drugs of Forest City, we are continuing to offer the COVID-19 rapid testing and the COVID-19 vaccinations. Please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591 with any questions or concerns that you may have. You may also visit our website at smithsdrugsfc.com and schedule your COVID rapid 19 test or your vaccination. Again, if you have any questions, please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591.
Deputy Greenway was with us earlier from the Sheriff's Department to give us an update from their activities in the world of crime fighting. Let's go to that report right now. Deputy Greenway?
Okay, in the last 24 hours, we've responded to 161 calls for service, made 14 arrests, and there's currently 203 in the jail. Reading our arrest reports, Kenneth Scott Merck was arrested for failure to appear on misdemeanor. We had Shauna Hamrick arrested for failure to appear on misdemeanor. Bruce Dale Bradley arrested for failure to appear on misdemeanor. Howard Guy III also failure to appear on misdemeanor. Sarah West was arrested for simple assault. Jamie Wall was arrested for failure to appear on misdemeanor, and Samantha Bradley was arrested for larceny of motor vehicle. Reading our incident reports, Barbara Sanders reported an incident of felony larceny. Boyd Hutchins reported an incident of attempt to break and enter. And then Alicia Dobbins reported an incident of breaking and entering in violation of a court order, and that completes the morning report this morning.
Thanks, Deputy Greenway, for that report. Again, let me remind you, our high school game tonight is Chase at Owen. We'll have that game for you, provided everything continues to go well. Little side note, it seems the first dog is not a happy dog up in the White House. Biden's dog has bitten somebody just about every day this week up there. All things about a president eventually hits the headlines, including the first dog, Major, who was confirmed to have bitten someone in 2 separate episodes earlier this year, but it turns out that was just scratching the surface, so to speak. As Biden fights to maintain credibility for the United States amid the catastrophe he allowed to develop in Afghanistan, in which terrorists have taken control and have attacked and killed both American military personnel and Afghan citizens, he's facing another controversy. It appears his dog, Major, has been on a biting rampage. In fact, a Secret Service note confirmed earlier this year, at the current rate, an agent or officer has been bitten every day this week, causing damage to a tire and bruising punctures to the skin. The controversy was dubbed Majorgate earlier in the year when Judicial Watch filed a lawsuit against the Department of Homeland Security for the records of the biting incidents involving the dog. The dog bit a National Park Service employee who was working on the south lawn of the White House. The employee was taken to the White House medical unit and treated. A spokesman for Jill Biden, Michael LaRosa, suggested the animal is still adjusting to his new surroundings. He said the dog nipped someone, but it was the same dog, a 3-year-old German Shepherd, that previously bit another victim and was sent back to the family's estate in Delaware for a time. So a Secret Service official emailed in March attached are a couple of photos from the dog bites, and they have since removed those pictures. Folks, listen, I know many of you are praying people. If you are, please pray for the situation in Afghanistan and the folks that are trapped over there and those who have been injured and shot and the families of those who have been killed.
NCN Sports, I'm Josh Zach. Andrei Svechnikov will be a Carolina Hurricane for a long time. The team announced yesterday a deal to keep the power forward with the team through the 2028-2029 season year. Team president and GM Don Waddell called Svech one of the Canes' cornerstones. They're thrilled to have inked a long-term commitment. Svechnikov says playing for Rod Brindamore was a big reason why he signed the 8-year contract.
He's a great coach. He's a great guy. And he actually just messaged me a few minutes ago. He said congrats, and I'm very, very happy with him.
The deal will pay Svechnikov an annual average salary of about $7.75 million per season. Round 2 of the Bmw Championship underway this morning at Caves Valley in rural Baltimore. Rory McIlroy, John Rahm, and Sam Burns share the first-round lead after each shot in opening round 8 under 64. The championship will help determine the top 30 who reach the season-ending Tour Championship in Atlanta. It'll also provide a last chance for American duffers to earn one of 6 automatic spots in the Ryder Cup team. The LA Dodgers continue to own the second-best record in Major League Baseball. Unfortunately for them, the team with the best record in baseball, the Giants, are in their division, and they just keep winning. So the Dodgers may be playing for a wild card spot. Max Scherzer struck out 10 in the Dodgers 4-0 shutout of the Padres, while San Francisco beat the Giants to maintain their 2.5 games lead over L.A. in the NL West. The Yankees squandered a 6-0 lead before rallying to upend the A's 7-6 in Oakland. Giancarlo Stanton, Brett Gardner, and Joey Gallo each dropped bombs, but it was Aaron Judge's RBI single in the 9th that extended New York's win streak to 12 games and get them within 4 of AL East leading Tampa Bay.
Everybody in this clubhouse, everybody in this locker room has each other. We continue to fight for each other, and 12 in a row. That was a little bit of luck sprinkled in there too, I think.
This is NCN Sports.
America is connected by our roads, bridges, electrical, and telecommunications infrastructure. Investments in these critical systems make our communities, economy, and national security stronger. These systems are vital to our everyday lives and North Carolina's economy. That's why Senators Richard Burr and Tom Tillis voted for legislation that makes critical investments in North Carolina's roads, bridges, and electricity systems. Critical investments in the infrastructure that makes America and North Carolina great. Repairing our roads and bridges, upgrading electrical systems, and increasing access to information systems is good for our families, good for America, and good for our future. Thank you, Senator Burr and Senator Tillis, for voting for a real infrastructure plan that rebuilds America and invests in North Carolina. Thank you for voting to invest in us. Learn more at let'sinvestinus.com. Paid for by Citizens for Responsible Energy Solutions.
In college hoops, Memphis has a little more Carolina blue on its coaching staff. Coach Penny Hardaway has added 16-year NBA veteran Rasheed Wallace as an assistant coach on his staff that also feature former coach Larry Brown. Wallace won the 2004 NBA championship with the Detroit Pistons, where he was coached by Brown. Both played for Coach Smith at Carolina. The Tennessee Titans coronavirus outbreak has grown to 9 now that quarterback Ryan Tannehill and 3 other players have been added to the reserve COVID-19 list. That happening on Thursday. Meanwhile, Buffalo Bills coach Sean McDermott has expressed frustration with his team's relatively low vaccination rate, while saying there's little more he can do to persuade players to get the shot.
Get the shot! I am if you let me. Get the shot! Right!
The Bills are considered to be at the lower end of the NFL scale and having about 80% of their players vaccinated. Josh Zach, NCN Sports.
Hello, everyone. We made it to a Friday, and for today, we'll see a mostly sunny sky. That abundant sunshine will keep temperatures on the hotter side again today. Highs mainly in the low to mid-90s. Mostly clear sky this evening and overnight tonight. Perfect for football Friday night plans. We'll be in the upper 60s and low 70s Saturday morning. Saturday afternoon, expecting another mostly sunny sky, but highs hotter and mainly in the mid-90s. Also in the mid-90s on Sunday. I'm meteorologist Zach Moloch in the Weather Center.
It is a beautiful day in the neighborhood. 71 degrees right now. We'll be bumping up to about 90 with the heat index a little bit higher than that. We have beautiful weather all weekend long. Just a little bit of rain perhaps coming next week, about Tuesday night. But with temperatures like we're having, there may be still another pop-up thunderstorm developing each afternoon, but nothing major right now. Again, 71 degrees. You're listening to 100.9 FM, 590 AM, WCAB in Rutherford. It's 8:30 and time for the Word of Faith Fellowship radio program. And with the program this morning is Mark Morris and Bob Van Kamp.
Hi, everyone, and welcome again to Word of Faith Fellowship radio program. This is Mark, and I'm here today with Bob, my very good friend, and we've known each other for many years. Bob is a father of 4 children, a grandfather of 4 children. He actually drives a truck a long distance over the road. You're all over the place, all over the United States, from the West Coast, north, south, and
3 Canadian provinces.
Okay,
yeah.
So he is actually going to share with you from his heart about his life. And he was just sharing with me so many things that I believe you are going to be blessed with. God has done so much in Bob's heart as he's been on the road in that journey and in that cab, holding on to that wheel, and he has witnessed miracles of how God has saved him and protected him. But at the same time, he has seen God do such a work in his heart as he's been behind the wheel. And I believe you said for 9 years you've been driving a big truck.
9 years in October.
Okay,
yes.
So in 9 years you've seen miracles, one after the other, and the biggest miracle that you've seen is what God's done in your heart. So, yes. Bob, go ahead and share with us.
You know, when I think it's been 4 or 6 weeks ago, I was in California picking up a load of strawberries to bring back east, and while I was making that delivery, I got very sick. I had had some nasal things and developed chills, dizzy. Mm-hmm. Got to the point where I couldn't function. I was my solution to that was to climb in the bunk ended up being about 14 hours. Mm-hmm. And after that point, I got up, and a friend had checked on me, and it's like when the friend checked on me, I started to be able to kind of take hold inside myself. Mm-hmm. Got a shower, started functioning, and the more that I went, the better I started to feel. I was able to make it home. It was about 2,400 miles to come on home. Yeah. But after that had happened, there just became a realization in me. I didn't even have the strength to text my wife and say, please pray for me. I wasn't, I'm not feeling well. But at the same time, there was not a concern of I'm in a terrible danger or anything. It just felt like God had a hold of me. And that was what prompted me when I came home. I talked to the pastor at church, and I said, I would really like to thank the people of church that, pray for the truck drivers, because every time I get the opportunity to come to prayer, my grandchildren are some of the first, pray for the truck drivers.
Right.
And every time I come in the door, I hear someone say, we've been praying for you.
Right, right. In our church, of course, we pray every week as a church, and
pray very strong.
I hear that mentioned. Let's pray for the truck drivers. That's right. And you, and we have other truck drivers in the church, and actually we have another radio program that we that's on our website with Bobby and John, and yes. So it's exciting to hear you share that, because I know our church prays for you and the other truck drivers.
But to witness where people say they pray for you, but you also can feel where they lay it at heart. Right. They take it seriously. It's not just a mouth service.
Yes.
But I had the opportunity to share and just said that I know you pray for us, but I don't think what you're praying for. And I just got to share a few examples. Personally, I've been in L.A. and seen the cloud of smoke over the road, watched the airplane go by and drop the red fire retardant. Mm-hmm. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. That fire is pretty close and is 210.
Right. And I'm familiar. Being from Los Angeles.
It winds back and forth and back and forth. Right. And when it made the final bend, the pillar of of smoke is right directly in front of the road. And as I'm going along, I look and I see at least 4 lanes of brake lights, everybody coming to a stop. And I look up over the ridge and I see the orange glow of the fire coming over the ridge, half mile, 3/4 of a mile from the road. And I felt an urgency inside. You need to get out of here. So the next exit, there were these orange cones, you know, the road was blocked off, but we drove over the cones and went down the ramp and found a way to turn around. And I drove till I was what felt like a safe distance away and called in, you know, how do I get to where I needed to be 5 miles away because the road was closed. As I was turning around, cars were turning around on the interstate, driving the opposite direction. And my dispatcher told me that I needed to keep moving because they had just issued a evacuation for 100-some thousand people in the area.
Yeah.
I heard later that the fire did cross, you know, the road down there and went down into towards the town. But that, and then you see, you drive on a road and you see near the guardrail, the river is coming out of its banks and very close to the road, and you get 20 miles down the road and the opposite direction's closed because it has crossed the road, or see ice and you drive by the tractor trailers that are flipped on their side. And all that has done is put a cry in my heart, Jesus, I don't want that to be me. And there's a realization that no one goes into those kind of situations intentionally. So where did someone not know that that danger was there?
Yes.
But all it's done is develop a confidence in me that no matter what I get into, Jesus will watch over me.
That's good.
I never wanted to travel into California because they have earthquakes. And one of the first trips I went into California with, there was an earthquake in Hickory, North Carolina.
Oh, is that right?
And my last trip out to California, not this one, but the one before, I picked up west of Fresno. And somewhere near Fresno, the day before, they had a 5.4 earthquake. But they had what they call an earthquake swarm. They recorded 200-some tremors in 24 to 36 hours.
Yes.
But it wasn't while I was there.
It's amazing, Bob, just what you've shared so far. And I remember when you shared in church, as a matter of fact, when you got up in church and thanked everybody for praying for you, and the whole church, I remember us praying for truck drivers. When you got up and shared and thanked everybody and shared some of this, I came to you and I said, you got to get off the train right. That's why you're here. So, but it's amazing, Bob, just in what you shared, fire going across the road. You shared about a time when the water's coming over the bridge. You pass the bridge, and then you hear the bridge is overcome with water.
Closed, yes.
And in all of these situations, and you have seen firsthand the hand of God in your life. You've seen trucks fall over, slide off the road in the ice, and you go past them. And
a year or so ago, I was going through Des Moines, Iowa. And later that day, I went into the truck stop, and there's news on the television about a 50-car pileup in Des Moines, Iowa. And it was the road I went on, but the opposite direction. I was headed eastbound. It was westbound, where ice developed quickly, and no one could stop, and just one after the other, running into each other. And say, Jesus, thank you that was not me.
Yes. Yes.
That's where I want to share some of my testimony.
Right.
I've been driving 9 years, but I don't necessarily feel like a qualified driver. There's many people that have many more years of experience, many more miles of experience, maybe more natural ability. And when I first started, I don't know that I had the appreciation I do now of that Jesus loved me and Jesus wanted to take care of me. And anywhere I go, if there's a submitted heart, and if I'm walking submitted to him to hear his will, that he'll take care of me. Because most of my time in the trip was wondering if when I got where I was going to be able to do what I need to do, whether it's backing into a difficult dock with a lot of traffic around, or it just not tormenting, but it was, a heavy weight, just constantly wondering if you were going to be able to do. But somewhere in the midst, I know that I've had a heart change. I was sharing with you earlier, you and I moved to North Carolina in the same year, 1990.
Yes, we did.
And we both came because we knew God was drawing us. There was a call of God on our life. We wanted to serve God with our whole heart.
Yes.
But just because you move and go to Bible school doesn't mean that you'll fulfill the call of God on your life. And I know there were areas in my heart where, from the way I was raised, the church I grew up in, you saw what everybody else did and you just didn't think you were quite that bad. And when words would come, this is what God is saying for you to do, sometimes you thought it was for someone else and didn't necessarily pertain to you. And that develops such a hardness in your heart, where God comes and tells you he wants you to do something, and you may say yes, but it's a begrudged thing. Mm-hmm. Or you may say yes, you'll do it, and then you never do. Or if you do say you're going to do it, it'll be on your time in the way you want to do it.
Right.
And I found out that doesn't work. It develops a hardness. So I can't say at the beginning of my truck driving career that my relationship with God was the best. It was easy to get 300 miles away or 3,000 miles away and feel like that little truck cab that is like a bunk bed with a couple feet in front of it, that it could be solitary confinement, that it could be the sentence of God's judgment on you. But it's not been too long ago, within the last couple of years, and I can't say a date or a time, but I know I kind of came to an end of myself, of knowing that my relationship with God was not where I wanted it to be, and that it didn't seem like there was anything I could do. But in reality, I don't know that I was trying that hard, but anything that I could do to change it. Mm-hmm. And when I was kind of ready to give up, it's like God grabbed a hold of me. He knew what my heart was like inside, and he showed me personally that he still loved me, and that he cared for me, that he wanted me to walk with him. And it began to change my heart. And so my whole outlook on life has kind of taken a change. I can still be going down the road and have a flat tire on the truck, which means you might sit by the side of the road for 4 or 5 hours waiting for someone to come fix it. But I know that a flat tire on a truck at 70 miles an hour can be a pretty serious accident.
Right.
And I've had blowouts. Blowout on the steer tire is the worst. And at 70 miles an hour, my truck just kind of sat down and the wheel came off the rim, and I was able to just roll over onto the shoulder, Mm-hmm. But you get such an appreciation that, Jesus, you spared me. You love me. Yes. You take care of me. And there's other people that might be in the same situation that are cursing and railing. And,
mm-hmm. Right.
So I know it's just where God started to change my heart. And, all during that time, God just started burning some scriptures in my heart. Mm-hmm. Like Jeremiah 29. I know the thoughts and plans that I have for you.
Yes.
Plans for welfare and peace, not for evil in your final outcome.
Mm-hmm.
And when you know that, then whatever's ahead of you on the road, you know that God wants you to make it through it.
That's good.
Without being destroyed.
That's right.
That's right.
Very good.
But I've just been grateful for where I see the change coming to my heart, and I don't feel like it's a completed work. I feel like I'm a work in progress.
Right.
But I'm excited every day. A very good friend of mine is my dispatcher at work, and she and I, we pray for each other, we encourage each other, we enjoy the opportunity to work together. And I will call her for my next assignment, and I will ask her what my next great adventure is.
Right.
Because the other scriptures that I had were, why do you consider it strange, that you encounter trials and tests? But if I can...
Yes.
Yeah.
That is a great scripture for you every day.
Every day. And so are you going to... let me share this.
Sure.
James 1:4, or 1, 2, and 4. Consider it nothing but joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you fall into various trials. Be assured that the testing of your faith through experience, that can be through bad weather, that can be through mechanical breakdowns,
Right.
that can be through someone cutting you off,
Right.
That the testing of your faith through experience leads to endurance, spiritual maturity, and inner peace.
That's really good.
And that inner peace is what I'd been missing for so long. When you're rebelling against God and rebelling against wanting to do things God's way,
Yes.
that peace isn't there. And then it says, and let endurance have its perfect result, and do a thorough work, so that you may be perfect and completely developed in your faith, lacking in nothing. And I can't quite say yet that I'm lacking in nothing. But with everything that I've seen God do for me, and everything I've seen where He's supplied for me, I know that it's going to continue and even increase.
That's really good, Bob. Well, some of the things that, as you're sharing, I'm thinking about people who are listening who are maybe like you. You grew up in a very religious family. When you and I came here at the same time, we came here to Bible school, and we spent time together, and both you and I came from a church background. Your family was very religious. You had a lot of knowledge about God. I had a lot of knowledge about God. But you were like me. We came here, and we really had not let God come into some deep parts of our heart and deal with the issues of our heart. I still had a lot of self-will. I know you were sharing about things in your heart that weren't right, that rebellion, that buck not wanting to really let God rule everything in your life. And you were sharing about several years ago, you really coming to the end of yourself. Things that were in your heart that weren't right, that you were just kind of trying to push down or do this or that or wrestle with, and would you share just a little bit for people out there? Because I know there's people out there that are listening that are like you and like me, that have these things in their heart that they try to just shove down, they try to avoid, and areas of rebellion where God's wanting to be Lord. He's wanting to rule and reign, and the place where you came to, the transition, and how that worked in your life.
When you have that working in your heart, you don't want people to see what's inside you. And you almost develop two personalities. When I have a relationship with you, there's certain things that I may want to let you know and see, and hope that you think that this is the way I am.
Right.
And it's different than the emotions and the feelings and the thoughts that you have inside. It's not real. It's very false.
Yes.
And the incident I shared with you before, after that time, having a time where I just was ready to give up. And I thought I was terrible inside, which my relationship with God was a mess.
Mm-hmm.
But in the midst of it, he showed me he loved me. And it wasn't just somebody preaching words to me. It was inside my heart, having the realization. It's like blinders coming off your eyes, scales coming off your eyes.
Right.
Of God wanting to have a relationship with you.
Yes.
And fighting more than you're fighting yourself for it to be so.
Right.
And just the places I started studying about Moses and his relationship with God, where he walked face to face and had a relationship, person to person. But I just so felt the love of God, and I reached a point where, and that's why I'm here now, is I had been so concerned about what people thought of me. And you kind of think they would judge you the way that you judge yourself. But that false religion and that rebellion is such a harsh master. There's scriptures that talk about those former tyrant masters.
Yes.
And I don't know that I'm to the point where, like the scripture says, they've become powerless ghosts. Mm-hmm. But the power of them is breaking. And just studying about where the things you give your will to, when God asks you to do something and you decide you don't want to do it, that rebellion, it says what you give your will to, you become a slave.
Right.
But I'm here to say that you don't have to stay a slave.
That's good. That's good.
That it's a constant pressing through. It's a constant deciding to make a decision.
Right.
Where once I was concerned about what people thought of me or how they see me, it's now I want to open up my heart and let them see what's inside and not be concerned if they reject me or not, because I know God loves me.
That's really good. I was reading a verse, and I'm thinking about this verse as you're sharing. This is in Isaiah 66, verse 1 and 2, and it says, "Thus says the Lord, heaven is my throne, and the earth is my footstool. What kind of house would you build for me, and what kind can be my resting place? For all these things my hand has made, and so all these things have come into being by and through me, says the Lord. But this is the man to whom I will look and have regard, he who is humble and of a broken and wounded spirit, and who trembles at my word and reveres my commands." And what I'm hearing you share is you grew up in a religious family, in a church setting, and part of what happens is you can build up a false relationship where you actually try to look good on the outside, but you don't really have the humility and the relationship that God wants you to have. And God lays out in Isaiah 62 three things that he looks for. And I always, when I read this, I thought, when I stand before God, he's not going to look at all of these things I did and try to accomplish and how I success or money. It's going to be three things, and it's going to be, is my heart humble? Am I of a broken spirit? And did I tremble at his word?
That's very similar to Micah 6. He's shown thee, O man, what is good, and what does the Lord require of thee?
Yes.
I had these incorrect thoughts of what God required of me, and I always fell short.
Yes.
And when you find out what does the Lord require of you except to be just and to love and diligently practice kindness, compassion, and to walk humbly with your God, setting aside any overblown sense of importance or self-righteousness. That false system, it's almost schizophrenic. On one hand, you feel like you're not worthy, that you're on the other hand, help me, Jesus. you can try to look humble, but it's almost like pride.
Right.
You know?
Right.
On one hand, you think you're not worthy, that you're not living up to this standard you're setting for yourself, but on the other hand, you think you're not too bad, and it's
right.
It almost it'll produce an insanity.
Yes, and it's really opposite of true humility.
It is,
because true humility is an acknowledgement that in and of ourselves we can't do anything.
That's right.
But on the other hand, true humility is depending on Him and saying, God, I can't do it, but I trust you, and you can do the work in me. You can do everything in me, and you can help me to do everything you want me to do. And that's humility. Humility is, I can't do it in and of myself. There's no righteousness. But God, you are righteous.
You know, in the beginning of where God started to deal with my heart, you would read scriptures that say, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling, you know.
Yes.
And you would think, I've been working as hard as I can, trying to, you know, be what I thought God wanted me to be.
Right.
You know. But the truth of the matter is, He'd humbly ask you to do something and you weren't willing to do it. But it's come to a point where I'm not really concerned about what people think of me. I don't do what I do to get, you know, acknowledgement. I was recognized as the first driver in our company to drive 1 million miles. And they put a little, you know, emblem on my truck and all. And it is a very nice gesture, but I drive. And if I do what I'm supposed to do every day, I'm going to drive miles and miles and miles. But all I'm doing is trying to be obedient to what God told me to do. All I'm trying to do is the scripture that says, you know, give your whole heart.
Yes.
And where my heart's developing and coming to be is, I don't want to be a famous truck driver. I don't want to, you know, build up accolades. All I want to do is be a blessing. I mean, I want to be a blessing to the people I work with.
Right.
I want to be a blessing to my family, to my church.
That's good. Well, you mentioned your family. Tell us a little bit about you. You've had a change in your heart, and have you seen that change in your heart affect your relationship with your family, even when you're on the road, how you communicate with them?
I'm glad you asked that, because one of the biggest change in my heart is when I started seeing that everything in life doesn't revolve about me. And then if I'm asked to do something, what comes up in my heart is, Jesus, is this what you want me to do? You know, before, sometimes out of a selfish system, you're asked to do something, you say, isn't there somebody else that can do that? You know, but Jesus, what's my part? What's my place to be? And a scripture that God gave me during this time is talking about love. Actually, it was a footnote from a scripture, and it talks about agape love, and it said it's not an emotion, but it's a feeling of wanting and expecting the best for somebody. And I mean, that's developed into a cry of my own heart. What do I want to see for my children? What do I want to see for my grandchildren?
Yes.
Not necessarily material blessings or money, or I want to see them serve God. You know, I talked with you. Our last child was twins, you know, and at that time God gave me the scripture, children are inheritance of the Lord. The fruit of the womb a reward. And blessed is the man whose quiver is full. And that's what I see my children as, is a blessing. And as a dad, what do you want for your child? All you want is good things, not necessarily material. You want to see them serve God. You want to see them have the relationship where they can trust Jesus with everything in their life.
Very good. Well, thank you so much, Bob. Very powerful testimony and very heartfelt, and I know it blessed people. I know that you poured your heart out, and when you pour your heart out, it always helps others. So we thank you, listeners, today, and I hope you were encouraged today. Again, this is Mark and Bob with Word of Faith Fellowship, and we are on this radio program Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 8:30 to 9. Thank you, and have a great day.
More music, WCAB.
From ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. One day after 13 American service members were killed in suicide bombings in Afghanistan, the U.S. evacuations from Kabul continue.